within the sky-reaching river. At the lowest point of the sky-reaching river, a man carrying a heavy ruler on his back sat motionless, as if he were an ancient statue standing still. It was unclear how much time had passed, but eventually, the figure showed a slight movement. Gurgle, gurgle. Moments later, streams of radiant do-chi erupted from the man like ripples, surging outward from him. Almost there, the man murmured, his lips curling into a faint smile as he sensed the changes occurring in his body. This figure was none other than Xiao Yan. Ever since Xiao Yan had entered the uppermost reaches of the sky-reaching river a month ago, he had been absorbing the river's purest energy. I never imagined the power within the sky-reaching river would be so vast. Even with the sacred flame and flame mantra at my disposal, it still took a full month, Xiao Yan mused with a slight smile. Now, it's time to reap the rewards. In the next moment, his eyes narrowed as a brilliant surge of energy exploded from within him, sending waves of immense power rippling outward. Boom, boom, boom. The tremendous energy that Xiao Yan had refined now began to be absorbed into his body. Whoosh, whoosh. With every ounce of energy being drawn in, Xiao Yan could clearly feel his limbs and bones filling with power. This strength was far beyond what a late 6-star Do-D could possess. Ha ha. So, this is the power of a perfect 6-star Do-D? It's definitely different from the late 6-star Do-D stage, Xiao Yan thought as he stretched his hands, feeling a surge of overwhelming force. The power he now wielded was worlds apart from what he'd had as a late 6-star Do-D. If I were to face Wang Chun again, defeating him in a single blow wouldn't be difficult, Xiao Yan smirked, clearly pleased. In truth, Xiao Yan hadn't expected that the mysterious force within the sky-reaching river would vanish under the impact of his soul attack. If not for that, breaking through the late 6-star Do-D stage would have been much more troublesome. Almost time to leave, Xiao Yan said, rising to his feet. He cast a final glance around the area before preparing to depart. However, what he saw shocked him. If the sky-reaching river had appeared grand before, now it was truly celestial. Where his gaze landed, the once translucent golden river now shone with a brilliant gold hue, stretching toward the sky. At its distant end, something caught his attention at the highest point of the heavens. What is that? Xiao Yan, with his keen alchemist's soul perception, noticed something most wouldn't. It was a mysterious green object. Even from a distance, it emitted an indescribable and terrifying aura. Xiao Yan couldn't discern what it was, but he was sure it wasn't ordinary. Forget it, time to go. Though curious, Xiao Yan trusted his instincts, knowing that the object was likely dangerous. Without hesitation, he left. Meanwhile, outside the incense pavilion, the place was buzzing with excitement. Damn, Xiao Yan sure knows how to be arrogant. It's said the sky-reaching river holds countless mysteries and can boost one's strength. How has Xiao Yan been in there for 50 days without coming out? Who knows? Do you think he might have fallen under the pressure of the 9th-level cultivation cave heaven? Doesn't seem likely. The sect's higher-ups haven't shown any concern. Let's just wait and see. Several disciples of the incense pavilion whispered among themselves. What's Xiao Yan doing in there? The pressure of the 9th-level cultivation cave heaven is strong, but not enough to harm him, right? It's already been 2 months. He's set a new precedent for our sect. Xiong Yuan, one of the disciples, was puzzled about what Xiao Yan could be up to. Hee, don't worry. I have a feeling that kid is up to something. Mu Shuzi, who had been anxious at first, was now calm. After thinking it over, he knew Xiao Yan's strength and character were reliable. What do you mean? Xiong Yuan asked, looking up at Mu Shuzi. It seemed like Mu Shuzi knew something this time. Did you forget about what's inside the 9th-level cultivation cave heaven? Mu Shuzi smiled knowingly. That thing? Even an 8-star Do-D might not be able to obtain it, Xiong Yuan was shocked. The Vice Hall Masters knew all too well about the treasures hidden within each level of the sky-reaching river. That might be true for us, but Xiao Yan is different, Mu Shuzi said cryptically. I also think it's almost time. He'll likely come out in the next few days. When that happens, even your best disciples in the Earth Hall may not be able to match him, Mu Shuzi said with a smile. Mu Shuzi, what do you know? Tell me. Xiong Yuan chased after Mu Shuzi as he left. Mu Shuzi, while walking away, responded, "Go inform the Earth Hall to postpone the entry into the Do Technique Pavilion for a bit longer." With that, Mu Shuzi disappeared. Xiao Yan really is a freak. The 9th level cultivation cave heaven is? Why? Zhu Yuan of the Earth Hall, seated in a study with a book in hand, was startled. Second senior brother, it's not my decision. It's the Vice Hall Master's orders. Wang Chen hurried to report the news, knowing how much his second senior brother, Zhu Yuan, needed powerful Do skills after recently breaking through to the 7-star Do D stage, especially with the upcoming sect competition. What's the reason? Zhu Yuan asked calmly after a brief pause. 50 days had passed, yet there was still no sign of Xiao Yan emerging from the 9th level cultivation cave heaven. Wang Chen muttered to himself, the delay in heading to the Do Technique Pavilion must be because they're waiting for him. 50 days in the 9th level cultivation cave heaven? Zhu Yuan furrowed his brow at the remark. To last 50 days in that place was no small feat. In fact, it was extraordinary, monstrous even. Zhu Yuan had been there before, but only managed to endure 9 days before he had no choice but to leave. The pressure inside was nothing like that of the 8th level. It seems the human hall is about to rise again, Zhu Yuan said slowly, after some thought. Second senior brother, you mean? Wang Chen, hearing this, seemed to realize something. Wang Chen, keep an eye on the sky-reaching river. The moment Xiao Yan appears, notify me immediately. If he really is that powerful, he might be able to help me with that matter. A flicker of excitement flashed in Zhu Yuan's eyes as he spoke. That issue had plagued him for far too long. Understood, second senior brother. Wang Chen quickly replied and left, though he had no idea what Zhu Yuan was planning. But he knew one thing for sure. Everything Zhu Yuan did was for the sect. At dawn, as the sunlight began to spread, a new day started at the Incense Pavilion. Hey, why are you so lazy? Everyone is pushing themselves to the limit with their cultivation, yet here you are, a disciple of the Incense Pavilion, slacking off by yourself. On a forest path, a young man with a heavy ruler strapped to his back walked lazily. He was promptly scolded by a teenage girl behind him. Xiao Yan had just emerged from the sky-reaching river, but something puzzled him. He hadn't exited the river from the same place he had entered. It seemed to be the result of some mysterious power within the river. Me? Xiao Yan pointed to himself, and then looked at the girl in front of him. The girl appeared to be around 17 or 18, in the prime of her youth, with a well-developed figure that accentuated her youthful charm. What are you looking at? I'm talking about you. The girl, arms akimbo, puffed up angrily and strode over to Xiao Yan. Lazy? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Xiao Yan was baffled. He had just come out of the sky-reaching river and didn't even know where he was. The only thing he was certain of was that he was still within the Incense Pavilion, though he wasn't sure exactly where. Of course it's you. The relics are about to appear, and the sect competition is approaching. As a disciple of the Incense Pavilion, instead of training, you're wandering around here. If that's not slacking off, then what is? She berated him sternly as she stood in front of him, though something seemed to bother her. Although it was only morning and the sun hadn't fully risen, she felt an unusual heat coming from Xiao Yan. It shouldn't have been this hot so early in the day. What was going on? She didn't say anything, but the thought lingered in her mind. Xiao Yan was speechless. Could you tell me where I am? I think I got lost, he said, his voice low. What? The girl's eyes widened in disbelief. Who are you? This is the Incense Pavilion, she said cautiously, suddenly on guard. I'm a disciple of the human hall. I just came out of the sky-reaching river and somehow ended up here, Xiao Yan explained, not hiding anything. What? Human hall? The girl's disbelief deepened. The Incense Pavilion's inner hall had 3 divisions, heaven, earth, and human. Being accepted into any one of them was proof of extraordinary talent and strength. Ahem. My name is Yumao. I'm a steward of the Incense Pavilion's inner hall, she said, softening her tone a little. Since we're both from the inner hall, that's good. Could you tell me how to get back? Xiao Yan asked directly. This is the area behind the mountain where we handle food supplies. If you want to return, just follow this path and you'll find your way back, Yumao replied. Thank you, Xiao Yan said before slinging his heavy ruler over his back and heading off. What a strange guy. But his strength, it's terrifying. He might even be stronger than senior sister Ling Xian, Yumao mused before heading in the opposite direction. Neither of them could have known that this brief encounter would one day lead to a heart-wrenching life-or-death struggle. Boom, boom, boom. As Xiao Yan and Yumao conversed, both Xiong Yuan and Mu Shuzi felt the intense vibrations coming from the sky-reaching river. It seems that fellow is finally coming out, Mu Shuzi remarked, feeling quite satisfied. 2 full months, 60 days. This guy has set a new record for the incense pavilion. When he comes out, I bet there will be quite a few people itching to cause him trouble. Xiong Yuan chuckled darkly. Heh, precious jade needs polishing? Mu Shuzi was unconcerned. When Xiao Yan had entered the 9th level cultivation cave heaven, he was already at the late 6-star Do D stage. After 2 months of cultivation there, his improvement was undoubtedly significant. Now, within the incense pavilion's Earth Hall and Human Hall, the number of people who could pose a real threat to Xiao Yan could probably be counted on one hand. Let's go. We should go take a look at your prized disciple, Xiong Yuan said as he got up and headed towards the entrance of the sky-reaching river. What's going on? Their speed was astonishing. In just a few breaths, they arrived at the stone chamber near the river, only to find it completely surrounded by a crowd. Vice Hall Masters, you're finally here. All the disciples have been waiting here for Xiao Yan to emerge. They want to witness the moment a human hall disciple breaks the incense pavilion's record. But there's no sign of Xiao Yan's presence in the sky-reaching river, and these disciples refuse to leave. The 2 guards complained bitterly. Not out yet? Could something have gone wrong? Mu Shuzi asked with a stern expression. No, nothing has ever gone wrong in the sky-reaching river, the guard replied firmly. I can still sense the boy's presence in the incense pavilion, but he's no longer there, Mu Shuzi said, glancing into the distance. It seems to be coming from the direction of the back mountain. That direction? Mu Shuzi murmured. Isn't that where Qin Xin's private chamber is? Xiong Yuan remarked, suddenly realizing something. That girl Qin Xin is quite proud. Xiao Yan probably doesn't even catch her eye. Xiong Yuan shook his head. Heh, I wouldn't be so sure. While Qin Xin's backing is strong, Xiao Yan has limitless potential now, Mu Shuzi chuckled. Let's head back first. We'll go to the bamboo pavilion later tonight. With that, Mu Shuzi vanished with Xiong Yuan following closely behind. The other disciples, hearing this, stopped blocking the area and dispersed. Xiao Yan slowly returned from the back mountain, puzzled by the strange looks he was getting from several Earth Hall disciples. They were staring at him like he was some kind of monster. He couldn't understand it, but if Xiao Yan knew that he had just broken a long-standing record of the incense pavilion, the situation might feel entirely different to him. Xiao Yan? A soft voice came from little Yi's right-hand side. Qin Xin? Xiao Yan turned his head and realized the familiar presence was indeed Qin Xin. Her beauty and strength were both astonishing to Xiao Yan. Even back on Falling Spirit Mountain, he had sensed that she was holding something back. Knowing that Elder Qing had taken her as a disciple, Xiao Yan figured she must have some impressive abilities. Do you need something? Xiao Yan responded lightly, maintaining a bit of distance from her. Yes, it's a personal matter. Are you free right now? Qin Xin asked softly, looking around to ensure no one else was nearby. However, her heart was filled with shock. Xiao Yan's strength had skyrocketed from the late 6-star Do D to the perfect 6-star Do D level in such a short time. The fact that he had endured in the 9th level cultivation cave heaven for 2 whole months must have some hidden reason behind it. I just came out of the sky-reaching river, so I'm free for now. Go ahead, Xiao Yan replied without hesitation. You're an alchemist, right? I'd like to ask you to refine a pill for me, Qin Xin said with a slight smile. A pill? Xiao Yan was a bit surprised as he glanced at Qin Xin. Though he didn't know her exact background, it was clear that her attire was no ordinary gear. She shouldn't need someone like him to refine pills for her. What do you say? Qin Xin asked, eagerly awaiting his answer. Although she came from a powerful background, Qin Xin preferred not to rely on them. Hence, she had sought out Xiao Yan. Additionally, the pill she wanted to refine was somewhat special, requiring the sacred flame, which was why she had come to Xiao Yan in the first place. Did Elder Qing tell you? Xiao Yan frowned. Should he accept or not? He felt conflicted, knowing that if Qin Xin sought his help, the pill wouldn't be something simple. Yes, it was my master who suggested it. Your alchemy skills have reached the second-rank imperial class, and with the sacred flame in your possession, that's why I'm asking for your help, Qin Xin admitted. But don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Since that's the case, you should be aware of the rules of pill refining, right? After a moment of inner struggle, Xiao Yan decided to help. He still needed a few things to resurrect his ancestor Xiao Xin, and perhaps this was an opportunity to make a good deal with Qin Xin. I know. Bring your own ingredients, right? Don't worry. I've already prepared 3 sets of the materials. You just need to successfully refine one pill, Qin Xin said, smiling as though she had anticipated Xiao Yan's agreement. Oh, and by the way, having me refine a pill comes at a high price, Xiao Yan added, intent on profiting from the situation. Expensive? Qin Xin asked, confused. What do you need? Money? Xiao Yan rolled his eyes. Do I look like someone who's short on money? Right. High-level alchemists shouldn't lack money. So what do you want? Qin Xin asked, a bit nervous now. She hoped Xiao Yan wasn't going to treat her like a fat pig to be slaughtered. I don't need much, just 3 things. Gale treasure fruit, azure dragon dew, and heavenly king ginseng, Xiao Yan said with a smile. These 3 ingredients were crucial to refining the pill that could revive his ancestor, Xiao Xian. All he needed now was these herbs and a strong Dodi's body to complete the process. What? Gale treasure fruit, azure dragon dew, and heavenly king ginseng? Qin Xin was taken aback by his outrageous request, her expression shifting slightly. Do you even know what those herbs are? She asked, her voice tinged with disbelief. Of course I do, Xiao Yan replied casually. Do you really? That gale treasure fruit only appears in the Flamelands, and even then, it's extremely rare. Only one grows every few hundred years. It's priceless across the entire mystic 3 heavens. As for the azure dragon dew, it's tied to dragons, which means it's located in forbidden zones for humans. Shall we investigate, young miss? Just as Xiao Yan had left, a middle-aged man suddenly appeared by Qin Xian's side. His presence exuded a terrifyingly powerful, invisible force. Anyone from the upper echelons of the Incense Pavilion would have immediately recognized his immense strength at the 9-star Do-D level. No need. We should hurry. Once the sect competition is over, we need to return quickly. After all, the people from the main church are pressing us. This time, when we return, I must. Qin Xian trailed off, a bitter smile forming at her lips as she clenched her fist. Young miss, this time, I'm sure we'll succeed. The figure beside her comforted, noticing her emotional stir. It's nothing. The past is behind us. What I lost, I'll make them return it all when we go back. Also, with the upper ranks of the Incense Pavilion moving frequently these days, you'd better avoid entering their territory. If their leaders catch sight of you, it could cause trouble. After finishing her words, Qin Xian turned and walked away. Understood, young miss, the middle-aged man replied quietly, watching her leave. The Incense Pavilion, huh? While you may be one of the top sects on Xinling continent, compared to the vast 4 corners of the Do-D world, you're already lagging behind. After all, our church has a foothold in every corner of the continent. With that, the man's figure flickered and disappeared. It's been half a day already. Why isn't Xiao Yan back yet? In Bamboo Pavilion, Mu Yingying paced back and forth restlessly. Just a few hours ago, word had spread that Xiao Yan had left the sky-reaching river, but no one knew exactly where he had gone. Don't worry. I'm sure Xiao Yan will return soon, Mu Feng reassured her, though he too wondered where Xiao Yan could have gone. As they spoke, unwelcome guests arrived near Bamboo Pavilion. So, this is the Bamboo Pavilion, huh? I didn't expect so few disciples in the human hall, yet their living quarters are quite nice, the figure at the front remarked slowly. The leader, dressed in fiery red robes with his hair tied back, looked quite dashing. Behind him stood 2 other figures, fidgeting nervously. Big brother, Xiao Yan should be inside. Should we go in directly, or? One of the lackeys asked. Idiot. If we just walk in, it'll be trespassing on the human hall's territory. If the vice hall master finds out, we'll be the ones punished since we'd be in the wrong. This fiery figure was none other than Hong Chi, one of the top fighters in the Earth Hall, at the late 6-star Do D level. Though strong, his boastful nature left him without many friends. This time, second brother sent us to test the waters. The rewards when we get back will be generous. One of the lackeys grinned at the thought of their second brother, whose influence and strength in the Earth Hall were second only to the senior brother. Relax. Once the job's done, you'll be well compensated, Hong Chi said. Let's begin. With that, Hong Chi spoke with finality. Right. As soon as Hong Chi gave the order, the two lackeys cast malicious glances at Bamboo Pavilion. Why are these guys lurking around the entrance of Bamboo Pavilion? Are they up to no good? Lu Di, who had just returned, saw the scene and was slightly surprised. However, Lu Di didn't spot Hong Chi, only the two lackeys. While Hong Chi was a late 6-star Do D, his lackeys were only at the early 6-star Do D level, so Lu Di wasn't the least bit intimidated. You two? Lurking around here like thieves. What do you think you're doing? Lu Di's voice rang out coldly. This woman. What a sultry figure. One of the lackeys muttered, his eyes glued to Lu Di. Idiot. She's Lu Di from the human hall, and she's got serpent folk blood. Don't let her charm you. The other lackey hissed, scolding his companion. She's a serpent? Disgusting. The first lackey spat. In the next moment, both of their eyes flashed with cold intent, and without hesitation, they attacked Lu Di. Since you're from Bamboo Pavilion, we'll start with you.